Afternoon, how are we all doing? Afternoon, ladder, Diamond, happy non-farm payroll. Just getting stuff ready. 23 minutes past, we've got 7 minutes to go, ish. So we've got average hourly earnings, non-farm payroll, and unemployment rate, which is the main thing that's going to move the market this afternoon. So we'll see how these all come out. Difficult to tell which way it's going to go, and even if you could predict which way it's going to go, that isn't necessarily the way the market is going to go. So we'll see what happens. I'll just turn financial juice on so that I can listen to it. Let me just turn my desktop on so that you can hear it too. What volume have I got? That's all right. Afternoon, Brian. So the NASDAQ, I've closed a bit more out this afternoon, so I'm up 2.3 now. Hey, look, I'm back in profit. Ta-da! Recovered. So closed out a few bits and bobs. CAD Swiss. Got out another one of those down there. Close that one there. Euro CAD. Oh, this is just this pound Swiss, US Swiss, and other things. I'm just testing this new EA functionality. So there's a few little silly little trades in here which aren't real trades. They're just testing the sentiment. Well, they are real trades, obviously, but they're just testing sentiment. So NASDAQ, I'm going to trade. So we'll watch the pound US dollar because that is the biggest short out there at the moment. So we'll see what impact we get on the pound US at the news. I'm going to trade.
5 minutes away now to get the US non-farm payrolls. Forecast 188k on the prior of 223k with a range of 320k to 130k. US unemployment rate forecast 3.6% on a prior of 3.5% with a range of 3.7% to 3.4%, and the US average earnings year over year forecast 4.3% on a prior of 4.6% with a range of 4.7% to 4.1%. US private payrolls forecast 190k on a prior of 220k, and the US average earnings month over month forecast 0.3% on a prior of 0.3%. US average working hours forecast 34.3 on the prior of 34.
Oh God, it does go on. Let me just turn him off a minute. Just go through the forecast. I don't really care what the forecast are. It doesn't matter, does it? Where it goes is what I'm interested in. So I'm going to trade the NASDAQ. So what I'm going to do, I'm on a 15-minute chart. What I'm going to do is initially, I'm just going to try a quick scalp with, I'm going to go 0.2%, $200 risk. So I'm going to trade that initial opening, that 15-minute candle before the news to see if I can grab a strong non-farm payroll move. The problem with non-farm obviously is it's quite notorious for being whippy. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. That is then the chance you take, isn't it? You know, it's either going to whip and you're going to get stuck, or it's not going to whip and you're going to make a load of money. So I'm going to try that. Quite often you get slippage as well. And then wait until the news is out. Wait until the markets put the initial move in, and then decide whether or not I want to fade it. So there's a couple of ways to take it. But I will see what happens. So we've got 3 minutes to the open. So I'm just waiting for this to sort of settle a little bit. And what do I want to use? Last candle. I want to use this candle for my stops. I assume I've got an offset on. Have I not got an offset on this? I never look at the settings. Where's the offset gone? Yeah. 15 I'm going to use. And trailers. I'm trailing 400. So I'm trailing 40 points on candle tick. So basically, I'm going to get the stops in fairly quick. So if we get a 40-point move, which is not a lot at all, I want to be trailing it basically to reduce risk because it's a risky strategy. So yeah, there we go. Afternoon, Brian. If I haven't said afternoon already, welcome back. Such a short time between streams. Could have also pulled a all-day one. I could have done. I know. That was a monster stream this morning, wasn't it? If you were here. If you managed to... I mean, I doubt very many people stayed for the whole thing. It was 4 hours. We just got talking about stuff, which is good. I think I basically did the entire boot camp this morning, didn't I? Which is good, but, you know. I'm knackered. I've had one of those weeks this week as well. It's just been one of those weeks. It's been good. I passed the evaluation, didn't I? But then I had a nightmare. It's Newsweek. It's always the same on Newsweek. Right. Okay. So sell stop, buy stop. I am straddling the news. TPs actually. Let's go much bigger on the TP. It's non-farm payroll. Let's go for it, shall we? Non-farm payroll. Let's go. Never going to happen, but it would be lovely. So yeah, we're quite possibly going to get whipsawed out of $400 here. We'll see. It's a risk I'm willing to take. Turning back on.
10 seconds.
Whoa. Didn't trigger. Look at that. Didn't trigger.
Cancelling pendings. 517k.
Oh, it's put selling down here.
Higher than the forecast of 188k. US unemployment rate, free spot 4%, free spot 4%, lower than the forecast of free spot 6%. US average earnings year over year, 4 spot 4%, 4 spot 4%, higher than the forecast of 4 spot 3%. Taking a look at the markets now. Downside movement in the S&P 500, upside movement in the
closing
FTSE.
that.
US average
Too much risk. Did you see that slippage?
34 spot 7, higher than the forecast.
That's what got me in down here.
US private payrolls 443k, 443k, higher than the forecast of 190k. US manufacturing payrolls
100
19k,
ADR,
19k, higher than the forecast of 7k. US labor force participation 62.4%, 62.4%, higher than the forecast of 62.
Unemployment is down, massively good for the US dollar.
0.3% is 0.3%, as in line with the forecast of 0.3%.
Okay. Positive US dollar. Should be. So unemployment's come down. They were forecasting unemployment to go up and it's come down. That's massively bullish US. Really good. Okay. So that's not going to help my gold position. Why did I trade? You know, when you lot didn't listen to me, did you? Whenever I say, if next time you see me trading gold, smack me on the wrist and say, I don't trade gold. That's why I don't trade gold. Boom. Straight into drawdown net. Wow, that was
the Treasury tumble after strong January employment data.
Loony move. Right, so anybody that was shorting pound US dollar, well done. Euro US dollar. So I've none of my trades are positive off the back of that, are they at all? Gold, definitely not. Oil, not much impact so far. The only exposure I've got on at the moment is gold. And I shouldn't trade it because I'm crap at it.
So prior rise for the US non-farm payrolls, 260K.
517K rigged. That's big, isn't it? Right. Okay. So the potential trade here is a fade move on this. So I'm going to switch back down to M5. We'll wait for this candle to go in, but this is non-farm. So this move is in line with expectation, positive US. Therefore, we have got positive US movement. Question is, are we going to hold this positive US movement and put in a 200, 300 ADR move, which we can do. That's a seriously good result for the US dollar. Seriously good. Unemployment has come down.
The US non-farm payrolls January 2022
off of a forecast of expecting unemployment to go up. So this is really good news. We're putting up inflation. Putting up interest rates, which tends to have a negative impact on unemployment. Unemployment rates tend to go up when interest rates go up. They've been putting interest rates up. Unemployment is coming down. Massively positive. So in theory, the trade here is to try and find a spot to sell. However, where on earth do you do that? Because you have nothing in here to give you any gauge. So it's pure luck if you're going to fade this and actually get a move on. So we will see. But certainly good news. I foresee this continuing. I'm going to have to get into another gold long in a minute. I might have to do that manually. Whoops, I'm definitely going to have to do that manually. Gold, 125 ADR. Oh, right. I can't stop myself, can I? In fact, I'm tempted just to knock that on the head and go, just take the loss on it. Just take the loss on it. Gold. Every single time I press the button on that thing, it just rapes me completely. Every time. Has done for a decade, will continue for another decade. Every time I press the button on it. And yet, I do it over and over again. That's a sentiment trade. So that trade on the gold that I took was based off of sentiment. Yeah. And what did they do? They flipped on me. They flipped long. So I'm now on board with retail. Don't want to be there. Right, this is going to be really tricky to get into. Anybody get anybody managed to get on that? You needed really you had to have a position on that ahead of the news. There was no way of news trading that. You saw that. I had my order there. My order got executed here. I jumped out there because that suddenly became, instead of a $200 risk, that became a $700 risk because the slippage. Tricky one. Tricky. Taking that half of that off that gold. I'm not going to take the whole lot off. I'll go into a bit of drawdown on it, but I've got to take some loss on that. It's too big. That move could go on for weeks. Massively good news. I just don't want to short it down here. I want to pull back. I want a bit of a pullback. Try and get in. I don't want to just hit the sell button for the status of hitting the sell button. Been on EU since Wednesday, short. Very nice. Since Wednesday. Somewhere in here, I guess. Up there, yeah? Try and play that fade. Perfect. Tricky one EU because it's, you know, they're both strong, so it's hard to get in a direction on EU. Tiny gain, picked up a quick 0.5% in and out. Nice. I didn't manage to get in. Get rejection at ADR on Euro US. ADR on gold. Do I want to take that? ADR on gold. There you go. Let's go to the 4 hour.
Thanks for the follow.
Thanks for the follow, work stuff. Take a second down there. If we can get down there, I don't really want to take an ADR there, but right. Getting a bit of a fade potentially starting here. There is a possibility of fading this all the way back up. I'm not sure that's going to happen because that is really good news, but I'd like to take a partial fade on it if possible. The other thing we've got to bear in mind with the NASDAQ as well is all of these earnings, which all came out pretty positive. So there will be buying on the NASDAQ this afternoon, but obviously off the back of that, do you want to fade that? Let's have a go, shall we? Oh, do I want to do it here? Do I want to do it here? I just want out of gold, basically. So I'd like to just get back to my average. I'm going to try one off of ADR because I'm a long way away. So if I take one off of ADR and then I take another one at around 125, and then if that fails, 175, and then all I need is a little bit of a pullback and get out, break even on it. I'm not really that interested in making money on it. I just want out. Damn, oil, gold even, every time. Oil's reacting positively. Oh, gone negative again, look. God's sake. EA scaled out some of it as well because I've obviously hit ADR, so, and it will continue to scale out of that for me until it's gone. Aussie dollar yen, we're going to get loads of ADRs now. Is that Aussie dollar yen? US dollar yen. Fine. Nice. How's Darth Vader holding up? Yeah, he's all right. He's sitting here. I'm giving him a good stretch. Yeah, he's brilliant. Stretch Armstrong. He's so good, isn't he? It's a good workout. It's a good chest workout as well. Stretching him. Right, NASDAQ's holding up. Dare I long it down here? One US dollar Swiss ADR. I think what I'll do is I'll put those levels in on here so I can actually watch it on here. That's where I would expect to see some kind of pullback starting if we are going to need to go down fairly low. I'm not going to wait for a reversal on it, obviously, because that's above my position, or pretty much where my position is. Right, it's a potential short NASDAQ. So we've had the pullback. This might be where it starts to rally. I don't think I'm going to bother actually trading that. See if I can manage this gold position and get something out of this gold. Had's reacted as well. Big spike. So again, this is the relationship between the Canadian dollar and the US dollar. Remember I said when the US dollar gets good news, the CAD gets dragged with it because they're made trade partners. So unemployment figures in the US affect Canada and vice versa. Pound US dollar weekly. Doing. Okay, NAS. And limit orders triggering that. So we've got buyers in the market trying to fight. Well, that's an RSI extension and a half, isn't it? Look, 9. Okay, so that's that level that I was looking at on gold, which is 135. Little close. So I might look at 150. That's not bad. And then sort of that level there. So scaling into this, I'll be looking. I'll go here and here. And then that'll get the average down, which is, you should be able to get out of that fairly easy. Assuming we get a pullback on the US dollar and the market doesn't just go, yep, fine, buy the US dollar and buy it for the next week. In which case I shall just keep scaling out of this gold gradually. Aussie 125, still pushing. So we are finding support on the NASDAQ. We do seem to be finding a little bit of support on the US dollar up at ADR as well. So some of them, Swiss francs, very weak. Euros just made new lows. I imagine the pound is as well. Yeah, pound's made new lows. Pound's come down into support. Potentially a bounce point there. We might find some buyers starting to come in on the pound. Worth a watch. That's the man I've got, look. That's who's sitting on my desk. That's me stretching him. I do love a stretchy thing. Could have some way of venting your frustration with this market. US dollar Swiss 125. Right, so we'd be interested to see how the sentiment changes after this, because a lot of people will have just got stopped out on a lot of different time frames. Okay, we're finding a bit of support. Taking a second on gold. That's my exit break even. If you remember the evaluation account I started at the beginning of January, this was the sort of event that got me, that took me out, wasn't it? We had that news event and the market went absolutely nuts on the news, obviously, as it always does. And every single position just ran straight into drawdown at the same time. World King, you trade on a real account? Yeah. This is a proper account though. This one. This is my Forex funds. ATR, New Zealand CAD, US dollar yen. Let me just turn the volume down. It's a bit loud. Yeah, so this is a my Forex funds evaluation. This one. One of my evaluations. Okay, Nasdaq's just taken out low of the Globex. So you've got a potential long if you want to fade the NAS. Not sure about getting in the way of this at the minute though. Other support areas. There's not a lot of support areas on the NAS, to be honest. 150 on pound US. So Nasdaq, that area there is our only support from yesterday. If that fails, it's back down to FOMC on 75 ADR. It could be a big old day on the NAS. So I'm going to trade the opening range breakout on the Nasdaq at the open. See how volatile it is, really. Going to be a difficult one to call this afternoon, isn't it? Because we'll have put a lot of moves in there. Let's see if that fades at the open. Yeah, that's what I'm expecting might happen. We might get fade on this because there's a huge propulsion gap here. Obviously, I haven't got the WRB on there, but obviously that's now formed a huge propulsion gap. So the market will likely want to come back and test that, and that's kind of why I'm playing the gold long here, because I'm anticipating some kind of retest in here. I'm just not quite sure whether they're going to do it today or not, which would be lovely if they do, because I'd like to get out of that one. We'll see. Got just over half an hour to the open, so plenty of time for this to fade before the open as well. Fed swaps, missed that. Fed swaps pair wages on a rate cut from 2023's peak. What? Parry, is that? Parry wages on rate cuts. What does that mean? That is interesting, because what they're saying there, the other thing that opens up now, the fact that unemployment is actually coming down on high interest rates is, okay, that's great. The reason we don't want to go higher with interest rates is because it usually affects unemployment. If unemployment is being unaffected by interest rate rises, maybe we can go higher to get inflation down faster. So the Fed may now look at potentially not quite, not shortening the interest rate rises. They might maybe go a little bit more. Traders on US short-term interest rate futures see a higher chance of Fed rate hikes in both March and May after strong jobs. There you go. That's what I just said. I should have read that first before I started speculating, shouldn't I? But yeah, so there is that possibility now. The rate hikes are not having the negative impact we usually see on unemployment, which is good. Which will make the dollar a lot more attractive. So the buyer scorecard fundamentals will now change. Hasn't updated yet, is it? 3.5. So that changes the fundamentals. So that becomes a positive, basically. Actually, we were -1 anyway, weren't we? So because this is the quarterly figures, not the month on month. So that will be positive against New Zealand. So that will affect the New Zealand. So the US will become even stronger against New Zealand dollar. Strength will remain the same against the others. And it will also become stronger against the Aussie. So we will gain ground on the Aussie and New Zealand for US as well. That changes. That only updates every now and again. Godly, what the hell are you looking for in gold? I don't know. I'm throttling Darth Vader at the moment. Gold. I don't trade gold. The only reason I took this yesterday, the only reason was because, and to be honest, it's even better now, because now we've got a whacking great propulsion gap forming there. We've got a whacking great propulsion gap there. The reason I took this was for a quick fade ahead of non-farm payroll. All we got today was an accumulation. So I thought, I'll stay in it. The only reason I took it was because sentiment was on side. And then I looked at it this morning. They've completely flipped. Sentiment flipped completely. This was everyone was short on it yesterday. Then I got in. Then they all went, we're going long. I was like, yeah, why? Don't follow me. I want you going the other way. Anyway, yeah. If I lose $1,000 on it, it's just another nail in the coffin, and then I won't touch it. And this is what I do. I trade it, and then I go, oh, that was all right. And then I trade it, and I go, that was all right. And then it kicks me in the arse, and I go, oh, I'm never trading that again. Then 6 months later, I go, oh, it does look good though, doesn't it? And I'll have a quick go. And then it kicks me in the arse again. This is my 6 monthly cycle. What's it doing? Kicking me in the arse. As soon as you see me touch gold, just go the other way. You will always win money. Always. I've no idea why I'm trading it. Anyway, I only need a quarter of an ADR. That's it. 96 pips. Actually, just over a quarter of an ADR. That's all I want. Then I shall be out and I shall stretch my Darth Vader stress toy more and remind myself. I'll probably smack myself around the face with it. Ow, God, that's hard. Oh, his helmet's not made of rubber. Yeah, I shall hit myself. I won't hit myself on the head with that because it hurts. Fading EU, Brian. You've got to be careful with these fades. This is a big fundamental plus for the US. There's a good chance it will fade, I think. But if it doesn't, you'll be looking at that ADR line here down there in all likelihood, which means you will be down here. So if you're going to fade it, just plan your fade, because this could well continue. So look at areas. So Euro US dollar. Look at where we may be going. So plan for about 160 ADR for a fade. If you're in it now, obviously look at that as a second entry, half an ADR away, and then after that, see that level there, and then there's a few really. So there, and there. Those are your entries. It's still going at the moment. Buying up pound pairs at a discount. You can't have a discount on an FX pair. Hasn't got a price. Things that look cheap. When you go into a supermarket and you look at deodorant and it's half price, go and buy a load of it up. When the pound US dollar is dropping, it's not cheap, it's dropping. Tom Hugard, in his book, has a very good example of that concept being completely wrong and should never ever pay attention to it. Northern Rock, a building society bank in the UK, was doing that. And in his book, he explains when he was a broker how his customers were phoning him up saying, buy it, buy more, buy more. God, this is getting so cheap. It's cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And he was saying, no, it's collapsing. Why are you buying it? It's collapsing. It's like, no, it's cheap. It's cheap. It's going to go up. No, it's collapsing. What's happening to the US dollar at the moment? It's collapsing. Don't you keep buying it. It's not cheap. It's collapsing. Yeah. Stocks. Bitcoin's coming down. Oh, look how cheap Bitcoin is. No, Bitcoin is collapsing. The bottom is falling out of the crypto market. It's not cheap. It's going bankrupt. Yeah, the US dollar is pumping really hard because it's had its best news of the decade, that it's allowed to put its interest rates up and it's not affecting unemployment, which is what it normally does. It's good news. There's no reason why it should stop going down. We should see 200 to 300% ADR today. However, the question is it going to do that? Or is it going to do that? I'm hoping it does that. I can get out of this bloody gold position. But yeah, don't. Same as RSI. That's not oversold. It's extended. There is no price. It's not sold. You can't. It's not been sold too much. It's coming down. So I use the terminology every now and again, oversold and overbought, but it's a stock term. Because the stock has a tangible value attached to it. A currency rate is a calculation. There is no such thing as cheap, expensive, discount, or that sort of stuff. Obviously, you can call it what you like, but in the real world, it's not. Doesn't really work that way. If that was the case, we'd just basically just keep doing that, wouldn't we? We'd just all make money. But every time you get down here and you go, oh, this can't go any further, the market has this uncanny way of teaching you that you're wrong. Thanks for the follow, Techno World. Techno World. My two favourite things, the world and techno music. Like it. I need a stretch Wookie. I wonder if they do one. I can't even. Yeah, they do. Look, there you go. They do a stretch Wookie. That's the same as my my stretch Darth Vader. Yeah, there they are together. Look. Oh, Wookiee's bigger as well. Get one of them. 25 pounds. Wow, 25 quid. Oh, Darth Vader was only 11.99. Chewbacca's way more expensive. Oh no, you might be able to get him for 9. At Forbidden Planet. Looks like they're on sale at Forbidden Planet. Oh yeah, look, 9.99. There you go. Brilliant. Might work with stocks or indices in the long run, the bargain game. It's yeah, I mean, like I said, Tom gave us a very good example in his book. Yeah, books are great. They give you lots of things, light bulb moments. You know, I read Tom's book, and there's a good couple of light bulb moments. So I thought, not heard that before. And you never stop learning stuff. Everybody's got different experiences in this world, but the reason I like Tom's book is because he comes from a brokerage background. Yeah, so everything I believe in and everything I talk about to do with this, he's seen it firsthand. He's seen what people do, what the retail crowd does firsthand. And he's, like he said, he's had his customers in his brokerage phoning him up saying, buy Northern Rock, buy Northern Rock, buy Northern Rock. My job as your broker is to tell you that thing's collapsing and you're being stupid. No, it's cheap. No, it's not. It's collapsing. Doesn't matter how many times you tell someone something, if they've got faith in it, they will keep doing the same thing over and over again. And that is the definition of stupidity, isn't it? Doing the same thing over and over again and losing over and over again. And then when you go like that and you make one, you go, yes, stupid. If you keep doing the same thing over and over again and it goes wrong, it's the pure definition of stupidity. I can't remember who said that. It was either Aristotle or somebody, Darwin or someone very clever. And it's totally right when you think about it, isn't it? There's no, and that's why I say in the Telegram group, there's no stupid question until you've asked it twice. If you ask it twice, it's a stupid question because you know the answer. You know, everybody's got to start somewhere. And when they get to the point where they ask the question 3 times and you tell them the answer and they still don't understand or still don't want to do it, then either they don't believe in it or they're stupid. There's nothing else you can say, is there, really? Insanity, yeah. Is that the definition of insanity, is it? Not stupidity, yeah. The definition of insanity, that sounds a bit more realistic, doesn't it? Doing the same thing over and over again. You know, that's the premise behind this, yeah? This is the premise behind the retail sentiment thing. Look at the euro US dollar. Yeah. You know, for the whole of 2021, people were buying this up and buying it, saying, oh, euro US dollar's cheap, isn't it? Oh, look at it. It's so cheap. It's so cheap. It's so cheap. Oh, I'm bankrupt. But, you know, every time there's a seller, there's got to be a buyer. Someone's going to get it wrong every time, aren't they? Can't avoid that. Like me right now, I'm buying this thing as it's coming down. I know it's coming down. I'm telling you it's coming down. I'm just trying to pick the bottom to try and get myself out of this position, but I've got a horrible feeling it's going to bite me in the arse. It already is biting me in the arse. Look. So the EA is scaling out for me. CAD Swiss I've just scaled out of as well. New Zealand CAD I've scaled out of. So this is the EA doing automatic drawdown control for me. So New Zealand dollar CAD, as it's going into drawdown, the EA is reducing my position size to get me out and automatically managing my positions. Yeah, I've told it, if I'm wrong by an ADR, start getting me out. I don't want to be in. So it's just basically gradually closing positions out, which is exactly what I want it to do. It's got to keep it on top of drawdown. This is a funded, a proper valuation. I've got to keep on top of that. I have to do drawdown control. very, very regularly, way more regularly than I would on my account. My account, I don't care, but for prop, you haven't got a choice. You have to do the scaling. Definition of insanity is trading. Yes. Calculated insanity. Euro Swiss is pushing. Closing in on ADR on that as well. Right, so the Nasdaq is stalling out down here. Afternoon, David. Happy Friday. I shall be very glad when this week's over, to be honest. I just had one of those weeks this week. Fridays, always good. Nasdaq's trying very hard to make new lows. There we go. Let's see what the Dow's up to. Dow's on its way. S&P is on its way. DAX also coming down. We've got some good euro spikes as well. So we're getting rejected on the Nasdaq. So like I say, that's really where we're going to find support if we are today. That's yesterday's low. So that's where we're going to find limit orders ready to trigger today. So if we get a strong push down on the Nasdaq today, down into that area, I'd be interested in maybe trying a reversal trade down there. But obviously with this US dollar now massively strong, this could well just drop quite quick. So we will see. And if that does happen, obviously I'm going to take the pre-market 15-minute short with $400. $400? Where are we? Where's my risk? Ah, wrong. Yeah. That one. Yeah, $200. So I'm going in with $400 per entry. A little bit aggressive, but he who dares and all that. Find a little bit of support on gold at 125 ADR. Oil's come back into profit. Oh, crikey. I missed a load of profit on oil. Wasn't watching my P&L. Well, that's good for oil. So oil was just made new highs. So we didn't manage to take out the lows of yesterday. We took Asia out and pushed back up again. Took out the highs of Asia. So we did a double-ended stop run. We've pulled back. So market structure so far today is bullish. So hopefully we could get a run up on this propulsion move at ADR today. Try and get that high taken out, and yesterday's high. If we can get yesterday's high taken out today, I shall take some of that off. In fact, I might put that TP on so I don't miss that, because what's that? 300. Take that. It's 0.25%. And then I'll be in profit on that second position that I've got there, and then I'm adding with a view to coming up to retest sort of highs of the week, really. I've got 20 minutes to the open. Anything anybody wants to look at? There's no point in me stopping the stream and coming back in 20 minutes, is there? Or 10 minutes. 9 minutes I usually come on, don't I? So might as well just hang around. Put some music on. Bit of background music. Tell me if it's annoying. There's not a lot else to do. Yeah, this only updates every. I think this updates on. When does this update? It's every hour or so that updates, so this will all get updated later. Oh, 3.4. Yeah. Oh, it's already updated. Yeah. Sorry, I was looking at New Zealand dollar. So yeah, there we go. We've updated. 3.4 down -1. So if we look at the buyer scorecard now, in US dollars. So Aussie dollar, US dollar has become a -9 now. Yeah, New Zealand dollar, US dollar has become a -5 because we now have unemployment change on our side. So unemployment change is now stronger, and we got unemployment figures, especially for the Aussie, now stronger. So that was cancelled out. I think that was a 1, wasn't it? So a little bit better from an unemployment perspective. But again, this is all going to have an impact on COP, but we're not going to find out until next week. Oh, here we go. David, why are you trading gold? I know. Just the other day you went through Quant Analyzer and explained how it bites you every time. I'm just proving a point. Might as well prove a point live on stream, mate. Why not? Yeah. Why I'm trading gold? I'm trading gold to teach you all a lesson. That's why I'm trying to get out. Look at my TPs. I'm not looking to make money. I'm just looking to get out. Bloody thing. This is why it's not suitable for position trading, because the strength of movement on gold when it wants to go is just, look at it. There's our shoehorn that we were talking about. Whoever it was in here, Franco, wasn't it? Was talking about yesterday. There's our shoehorn, new pattern we patented. But the reason I was trading this long from here was to pull back into the shoehorn. Didn't work. It's a new pattern, never traded it before, so I thought I'd test it with the instrument that I always lose money on. Clever am I? But yeah, I will. If I have to take a loss on it, I'll take a loss on it. This week is the week for stupid mistakes, really is. Don't jump in with me, for God's sake. It's probably going to tank. Highly likely it is going to tank. But I think we're going to get a pullback on this. Although this is good news, I think what the market will want to do is entice some longs in to get the liquidity in. Because they can't sustain this move without buyers. Yeah, so what they need now are buyers in the market. So they need to show some strength to entice some longs. And as soon as the longs start to come in, they know where they can go to complete their orders. So they can just start eating up all the long orders, basically, to power up the move. So I think we will get a pullback. I'm just hoping we can get a pullback at least halfway into that propulsion gap. That's all I really want. I'm quite tempted to hit the button again and try and scale in really fast and aggressive on this. With a very small stop, and actually use a stop loss rather than try and scale out. But I'm just waiting for a bull candle. We've literally got nothing bullish yet, so I'm just waiting. 125 New Zealand CAD. Again, I'm going to have to scale out some of this. I'm not going to get a reversal alert on it. Oh yes, I am. Oh yeah, oh that's right. I'm going to get in there anyway, so that'll average me down into the propulsion. I really wasn't expecting that at all. I was expecting either a 3.6 as expected or a 3.5. 3.4 is very good. Much better than I was expecting, especially as interest rates have been going up. And as you can see, the market is certainly was not expecting that either. I'm just going to put no, I'm not going to put a pending in. Okay, I'm going to let the EA handle the next entry on this. Just going to let this let the EA handle it from now on. Basically, I won't add any more positions in myself manually. 150 ADR. Okay, so we've got some potential fade opportunities if you fancy a fade building now. Euro yen ADR. Euro yen. Wow, is that the yen? Oh, look at euro. Your best chance of a fade at the moment is the euro. Look at the euro. Going nicely. At least something's going my way. Euro Swiss. And Swiss yen. So euro and Swissy both having a good afternoon ahead of the open. We've got 10 minutes to the open. Gold 150. Big moves. I can't actually hear the music. Let me just turn my monitor on for music. Monitor and output. Wouldn't exactly call this house music. EDM this is meant to be. Electronic dance music. Not sure about that. I'll turn my monitor off. Let me know if it gets annoying and I will turn it off. Pound New Zealand, ADR. So movement everywhere. So when you get these US dollar moves, obviously, for the market to be able to move the US dollar to such extremes, it needs to pull money from other instruments. So if you want to, same way as we use margin and leverage, the market does the same. So if I'm in CAD Swiss and oil and I want to start taking a load of US dollar positions, I might need to close out some of this to free up money. So that's why you get everything moving in the market when the US dollar moves, because of the repositioning themselves. 150 on Aussie US. So we're stored at 150 on gold. Okay, Nasdaq's got a fairly nice range forming now down here. So the 15, we've got another 10 minutes left yet. So we're going to be looking at that candle and whatever these two candles are next as our pre-market 15. Just refresh that sentiment, just see if there's any change to not a lot. So market's long US dollar Swiss, long gold with me. Everything else is pretty neutral apart from Euro US dollar, they're all short. So you want to be buying euro US dollar. Selling gold. CAD Swiss, ADR. CAD yen. Looks like they're holding the majors and moving the minors in the pound. Yeah. Get involved in that one. So euro US dollar doesn't look like a bad buy actually. We got some really good US dollar, some euro strength coming through. As soon as we get the foot taken off the gas on the US dollar, this has got a chance of rallying nicely. Uh, 7 minutes ago. Shoehorn just gave me a buy signal on EU. There you go. It's a bit of a shoehorn. I think the technical term for it is a rounding bottom. Swiss yen's back in positive territory. Euro Swiss. I think I'm being a little optimistic with that today. So Euro Swiss, we're just running into potential resistance. So this area here has been tested multiple times. So this is a potentially strong area. So we broke this level significantly. That's the propulsion move. So we're up at ADR, market's at exhaustion level. Obviously I got out way too soon again, as I always do. Hit my TP. Hit my TP. So yeah, we are getting exhausted, but obviously 150 on the Euro Swiss today I think might be pushing it a bit. So I might bank that because I kind of need it to offset against gold at the minute. I will give it benefit of the doubt at the minute. Let's see what, just let this candle get up to the New York Open and just want to see what the New York Open does. Because if in the New York Open we get the indices suddenly rallying in a direction, we will potentially see the US dollar start to reverse, and then we can see everything else start to reverse along with it. So all these moves that have started to play out will start to unwind. In fact, it is starting to unwind a little bit at the moment, so I might cancel that off as well, the Euro Swiss. Let's see. I'm just going to put a small trailer on it. 50 points, just basically get that locked in and get out. Just to reduce my, again, Swiss franc. I'm over leveraged on the Swiss franc, but that's because I've got these Swiss franc pairs on which are testing the new EA. So these are very small positions. A $200 risk on 1.5 ADR. So these are, they're very small risks and very small rewards, obviously. So we've got 4 minutes, 3 minutes to the open. So Nasdaq pre-market 15 is there at the moment, sitting in this propulsion. Yeah, so this is the area of interest today. here. We're right at the top of it at the minute in this propulsion move. So who knows? But obviously that's your 15-minute pre-market. So either this US dollar at the open is going to go mad and rally, in which case we're going to get a push to the downside, or we're going to start a fade move on the US dollar, which means we're going to fade back up into this propulsion. Yeah. So those are the two scenarios. The other option obviously is the market is absolutely knackered and shot, and all we get is a whipsaw, in which case that's going to hurt, but there's nothing we can do if that's the case today. So we will see where we go. I'm going to keep an eye on the Dow at the open as well. See what that's up to. See, the Dow's pushing at the moment already before the bell. Just wondering if I really want to put $400 risk on this today. It's 40-point move. I'm trailing 40, I think. 50. I'm going to take ads off today as well. I'm not going to add to positions. I don't want to add any extra risk on. How much time costed to make this balance? What do you mean? How much time costed to make this balance? I don't understand the question. You mean my P&L? Well, that's 3 days. Look. If that's what you mean, I don't know what you mean. Okay, so we're in a nice position for the open. We've got 35 seconds left, and we are bang in the middle of the range, which is nice. I like that. Euro Swiss, it's going well. 100k? What do you mean? Sorry. This is a 100k account, yeah. I don't know what you mean by how much time costed to make the balance. This is a prop firm account, yeah, so they just give it to me. They don't, haven't taken me any time. Okay, market's open. pre-15 is in. Had Swiss has hit ADR. There's no volume left. Look, market's shot. Look, it's knackered. Dow's moving all right. Oh god, the Dow's the thing to be on at the minute, isn't it? The last week, this Dow has been moving way nicer than the Nasdaq. The reason I trade the Nasdaq is because of the speed of movement usually. Dow's stripping it to pieces at the minute. Just about to go long. Thinking about it, thinking about it, thinking about it, thinking about it, thinking about it. Nope, decided not to. No, still thinking. Having another think. Definitely going to pop in a minute, isn't it? There we go. Come on. There we go. Long Nasdaq. That's the most unconvincing open I've seen for a while. Look at that. This thing's not had its Weetabix today, has it? There we go. A little bit of a push. Dow is struggling. S&P also struggling a little. Well, at least we've got the indices actually moving in tandem today rather than having divergence, so that's a plus. Brian's out. What are you out of? Money? Euro US dollar, is that? Yeah, I would get out the Euro US dollar. It's pushing hard. Well, the Euro's pushing hard. What's my gold doing? Okay, we're thinking about getting a reversal alert in on gold now. I will wait. I'm patient. Dow struggling. 150 US dollar yen. So US dollar is still trying. No, it's not. No, US dollar is running out of steam now. A little bit. Come on, NASDAQ. Let's get a nice big run in today. The EA use divergence system? No. No, I don't have any EAs that use divergence. Divergence is a byproduct of everything else, so you don't need divergence, really. It's just a confluence, really, you can add. Euro yen, 125. Euro's pushing nicely. Looks like we've got a weak yen, actually. Yeah, we've got a weak yen. Very weak yen. Swiss yen back in profit. Got too much stuff going on. What do I look at? Oil's in profit. God. Okay, so Euro Swiss is looking after itself with a trailer. Oil. That one's got a TP set. So Swiss yen, I want to monitor that. I'll just pop that over on the other screen, one sec. Stopping out break even on the NASDAQ. No, maybe not. Maybe not. Can you turn the music off again? Yeah, sorry. There we go. Okay, so NAS is making a run. It's not doing bad. It's not amazing, but it's not doing bad. I'm quite surprised, actually. We've actually managed to get a breakout, let alone hold it. After buying, it come with video explanation like set file and what condition to use it. What are you talking about? Which EA are you talking about? So all my products are on the website, yeah? Every single one is on the website. EAs, yes, you've got market reversal, price action toolkit, opening range breakout. On every single page, that's a 2.5 hour long video explaining everything you could possibly want to know about the market reversal alerts EA. There are multiple strategy videos. There are links to the manual, links to set files, test results, videos of the EA working. Yeah, everything is on the website. There's links. Why are my auto posts not working? There's a link to the website. I don't know why my auto posts have suddenly decided to stop working. They should be posting in there automatically. Maybe I tired them out this morning by doing a 4-hour stream. But there's a link to the website. Afternoon, Warren. So Dow ran into sellers. See if we can crack that. We're struggling basically here on Dow. NASDAQ's thinking about it. Euro Swiss have just closed out. Out of that one. So that's all my Euro Swiss now. Out. Flat. Let's go NASDAQ. Okay, risk-free trade. Basically, break even, can't lose. See if we can get that TP hit and then see if we can get a run this morning. This afternoon even. Going to need some help from the Dow, which is struggling really badly at the minute. I presume that's you, Willpower, on the website asking the same question about divergence. I'll answer it just in case it isn't you. Okay, so we just had a second attempt. Sellers have stepped in again on the Dow. So it's a strong protection of that level going in at the moment. We crack that, we've got a chance of a flush, which is going to take us up into there. Yes, it was you. Yeah. Okay, cool. There you go. I've answered the question twice. Aren't I good? Oh, here come my video. Here come my links. Look there. So all my links are coming in now. It was obviously tired. I was tired after doing a 4-hour stream this morning. So I imagine the Streamlabs software was very tired as well, having had to stream it and listen to me waffle on for 4 hours. So it's obviously decided it didn't want to post any of my my messages that go out automatically to stop me having to do it all manually. I love automation. Oil. Swiss yen is just running into resistance here. But that's where I'm aiming, that propulsion gap. In fact, that's a little high. Let me just move it down a bit. It's going to target the bottom of that propulsion gap. So quite often with these propulsion gaps, you'll find that the price will trade 50% into the gap, because what's happening is, obviously, as we get there, if there is any selling wanting to continue from that location, the limit orders will be in this area, but you never know where the limits are. So I quite often find we tap into them halfway and then we reject. Here's a good example, perfect example. There we go. Let me explain it with real life. There. Yeah. So you find that halfway through the propulsion, so you get them selling back out of that propulsion gap, then you get them tapping in, and you get halfway. If you set your TP here, it won't get triggered. If you set your TP here, you're out. So moving it down to the lower end of the propulsion gap is the safer option. Or that, I mean, that's obviously super safe. Somewhere there is pretty safe. But if you try and go saying, I want them to fill the gap, you won't, because don't forget, the whole purpose of this is there are limit orders sitting in this zone wanting to push people back out of it. So the idea is you will get slammed out of it. So you just be careful where you put them. TP hit on the first portion of the trade. Oh, no, it wasn't. Stopped out. Did that just stop me out? $600. Oh no, both hit TP. What? Oh, you plum. Oh my God. Look, I got both TP set to 150. Ugh. Oh well. Why did I do that yesterday? There was a reason I did that yesterday, wasn't there? Oh yeah, I was trying to recoup that money from the first move, wasn't I? Just to get out flat. Oh well. Never mind. Well, that's me done on the NASDAQ for the moment. So if we pull back, I'll get in again. If we return to origin, I'll get in again on a retest of that propulsion move. Or if we slam through and we go short, I'll get out. I'll get in short as well. Swiss yen's rejecting those highs, as you can see. Do I want? I'm not even sure I want this yen on. So this was a sentiment trade. Which is no longer a sentiment trade. We're equal. So this isn't really actually a valid move anymore. So I might scrap it. Yeah, don't know. So basically, we're trading off an outside bar here. Look. And the outside bar is actually encompassing the entire Asian session, this move here. So basically, they've cleared the decks of all liquidity to the upside and the downside in 1 hour. We're now putting in a higher high and a higher low, which is obviously bullish, but there is no retail sentiment left. Yeah, the reason this is flat is because everybody's been stopped out. So I don't actually have a reason really for being long on this. So it's $50. I'm going to close it out. I don't like it anymore. Just turn the EA off on that. So flat on the Swiss yen. Oil's running nicely. So let me watch the DAX. Sorry, the NASDAQ on my other monitor as well. So I'll keep an eye on that. Oh, it's pushing. Never mind. Never mind. So my TP was there. So I'm missing out on that at the moment. Obviously, my trailer would be now somewhere around here. So I'd be locked in for that much profit. So if we do get a pullback, it's actually better to take the whole lot off today, isn't it? If we get a pullback, because then I wouldn't have made the 600 there. But this area is the worrying zone. It's very difficult off the back of a propulsion move that big to decide where on earth you're going to find potential sellers. They could be anywhere in there. They could be They could be non-existent. They could have just got out. So we don't know necessarily that is even going to hold. Oil's pushing very well. Gold is pushing back. I'm just about to get a reverse alert on M5 on that. Oh, not quite. Not quite. It's holding there. So just about to get a reverse alert. If we turn bullish in the next 5 minutes on this candle, we'll get a reversal alert long. So there is weakness starting to show in the US dollar. US 30, 1%. See you Monday. Nice one, Frank. You're trading the Dow, aren't you? I'm really, really thinking you're starting to trade the Dow, because the Dow seems to have more legs at the moment. Like that move yesterday on the Dow. We did not get that move yesterday on the Dow. That one there. Yeah. There's the 15-minute pre-market, which is what the opening range breakout EA would have taken. Actually, that is the 15-minute there, sorry. So that's where I would have got in yesterday on the Dow. Did not give you a chance to get out, did it? At all. That candle there is where you got out. So you got that lot. It didn't pull back. A bit like today. But look at the size of that move compared to what the NASDAQ managed. Well, that's the Dow obviously moving up. But compare that to what the NASDAQ did yesterday in the same time. Which was there. So the NASDAQ went and the Dow just went. Huge difference, isn't it? I'm warming. I'm warming towards the Dow. It's not normally like this though. That's the thing. Oh, look at this NASDAQ. Is anybody on the NASDAQ pre-market still? Well done if you are. Dow's just approaching resistance. We might get some trouble. 1%. Nicely done. What am I? 2.3 today. So back in profit. Let's Okay, we're just about to get a reverse alert. We've got 2 minutes left. We're just about to get a reverse alert on gold. So if this certainly looks like we've got an opportunity to fade all these. So all of these ADR extensions you've got, NASDAQ's fading this really nicely. The Dow is also fading this move very nicely. So we're at the top. So the US dollar is starting to fade the moves. So all of these ADRs you've got right now that are all US dollar based, Aussie dollar, US dollar, every US dollar basically is extended. So you've got fade opportunities on all of these now. They return to origin trade. So there's two options when you're running a fade. What you want to watch, regardless of what you're trading, whichever one you pick, you need to look at three things. First of all, there's three scenarios: A-shaped recovery, which is a return to origin. Yeah, quite often that will happen within 24 hours. Second is nearest support bounce. So wherever we broke with the propulsion move, that becomes support for the second leg. Third is propulsion, which is obviously where the buyers that started that move will continue to add. So that will usually be in a very similar place to resistance or support, depending obviously whether it's come down or gone up. It's support or resistance, isn't it? So if that is going to play out, those are the things you need to watch. That's the ballsy move. That's the more likely move. That's the conservative move, just pulling it back to the top of the propulsion move. And obviously that oil's in profit. That will be the same on everything. So with my gold, for example, that's resistance. That's the propulsion move that broke the resistance or the support in that case. I didn't get the reverse alert, it's still pushing down. But when the reverse alert comes in, obviously, that's the safe move. And that's the return to origin. The V-shaped recovery. So you either get an A-shaped recovery or a V-shaped recovery. Or the other option is you get the flag break, which is just an accumulation drop, second leg. One of those three is going to play out. So that's what you plan for. Watch the indices for clues. So NASDAQ's pushed straight back up into propulsion. So there's your return to origin. So this one's done it already. So that is the start of the move on unemployment. Unemployment move, there's your V-shaped recovery completed. There's your origin, there's your return. So that's a complete V-shaped recovery done. Not pre, but 5 minute ladder. Cool, nice one. So you got on the 5 minute ORB, which is there. So there's your entry. You're in that. Very nice. Doesn't matter which you take. 15 minute was a little bit big. So there's your 15. And again, this is the problem. This is why I like these. This is why I like the 15, the pre-15. I think the pre-15 and the 5 are great when we get a volatile open. When we don't get a volatile open, the 15 is the one. The 15 is the safest because you've got such a wide stop with it. It's a really safe trade. You don't overtrade it. You know, it's nice, but you can't tell when this 5 goes in. You can't tell whether you're getting a volatile open or not. There's no way of telling, which is why when I did all the testing with, you know, that 100,000 results of tests I've done with the ORB, EA, and the strategy, there is no advantage to any of them because some days the volatile ones you want to be on those, the non-volatile ones you want to be on the 15s. You can't tell which one it's going to be. So it doesn't matter which you use, does it? You're going to get chopped to pieces on the 5 and on the pre-market on that sort of open. But you won't even be in on that sort of open on the 15. They've both got massive advantages. And they've both got disadvantages, haven't they? The 15 won't give you as much return because your risk, your lot size is so much smaller because your risk is bigger. But anyway, that's why I kind of like this one because you get a half decent size. And as long as you get that propulsion move hold on the first candle, you've got a small risk. Your risk is reduced by 50% as long as that candle holds. So you're always only risking half. And I think that's why the return on drawdown on this is between 7 to 9R on the pre-15, whereas all the others are somewhere between 3 to 5R. But this one will stop you out and make you more crazy. This one is safer, but won't return as much money. So running a combination, and I'm running this on my funded account, one of my Forex funds funded accounts. I'm running the 15-minute. So I'm long on this at the moment, but only from here. And I'm running the other one on here. So if I get this over the line, this account, I will basically run the pre-market 15 on it. So I'm running both because I think they've both got really good edges. One day you're going to make loads there. And the day that you don't make the money on the 15, you'll make money on the pre-market 15. So swings and roundabouts. But they both work. Oil's moving nicely. Gold's not. I wish I'd have let the EA take these trades, not me. That was a silly thing to do, but I was over eager on the on wanting to get out, and I've got a feeling I might regret this. In fact, what I'm going to do, what's the risk on that? That's 250. That is 324. Okay, so I'm going to stop out on that position if we break back below 150. Just because I do not want to take $1,000 of drawdown on gold into the weekend. And that is still bagged me 2%, which basically puts me level playing field. Start again on Monday. Reset your stupid FOMC. Look at what's happened to me this week, right? Look at what's happened to me today with gold. So I've got $300 there lost so far. Yeah. Plus, if we go down out the bottom there, I'm going to take another 300. So that's 650-ish, say. And I will also be sitting in drawdown by about 500. So in total, getting into the instrument that I know I am not very good at and hurts me every time I trade it has cost me, possibly today, if that happens, $650 plus drawdown, so about 1,000. Trading the news on FOMC, which I know is ridiculously stupid and I always lose money on, cost me $1,500. Forget the fact that I had that was going to be a 2.5 grand loss day anyway, max loss. Yeah, I accept that max loss, 2.5. So far, doing the two things I know historically in my career always hurt me have cost me $2,500 this week. Doing the things that don't hurt me have made me 4%. Yeah, why do we do them? Because we're human, aren't we? We're stupid. I don't mind admitting it. I'm stupid. Anyway. Getting better results on the Dow in the last 3 weeks. Been trading both, risky, I know, and testing, Frank. Yeah, that's cool. No, that's what it's all about. Testing. The Dow, I really haven't done much in the Dow. I've got to do more. It's just time for me. I just don't have the time. You know, my testing on the opening range breakout version 1 was weeks. Testing on version 2, I tested for probably a week and a half, gathering all of this data on all the different variations. But it's all on the NAS and the DAX because it takes so much time. So I really need to redo all of this testing on the Dow. And I haven't even touched the S&P or the FTSE. There's so many more opportunities on instruments. But like you say, it is more risky because all you're doing is you're doubling exposure. As we see a lot of the time, the NASDAQ and the Dow do the same thing. Although over the last week or so, I have to say, these have been really out of sync, haven't they? Look at that. It's still out of sync. We are getting a lot of divergence across these two. So this is probably one of the better instruments to trade alongside this. And so if you put If you use the Dow, the Nasdaq, and the DAX, I think those are the three. Oh, and obviously the afternoons, you'll run the risk of hitting a max loss, though, if you get the two instruments do the same thing. So, but as long as you know the risks. Ladder just closed out for 2.94%. Needed to make some back after the start of the week. Cool. That's on that one, yeah? So you took the 5 break. Cool. 3%. Very nice. You're obviously risking a hell of a lot more than I am. I can't get in that big. I'd love to. On my own account, I wouldn't mind. On my own money, I should say. But on prop, I can't get in with the opportunity to make 3% risk, 3% return. It's a little bit too much. The trade yesterday on the DAX, that one was that was 2%. That move was 2%. That was off of $600 risk. $2,000. So 1.5 hour. I want to watch that. I'm just watching the NAS still because obviously the opening range, I keep putting the price action toolkit up by mistake. The opening range obviously is back down here. So that is not off the cards at all, that type of move. So if we get back down to here, I will be getting into additional positions. Hopefully we won't. Hopefully we'll just run from here. Oil just banked. TP. RSI alerts. I'm not going to go through the RSI alerts. Pretty obvious. Everything US, everything yen, basically. No, not yen, sorry. Everything US. And Canadian dollar. CAD. US. Euro odd. And Euro Swiss. And Euro New Zealand. Euro odds just hit its weekly. It is Friday, so we'll let it off. Oil has come up into propulsion. Oh, wow. So this trade here was the 5-minute reversal alert. So that candle there was the 5-minute reversal alert. God's sake. US dollar yen 175 ADR. So that's that trade there. Back up into that high. New Zealand dollar, US dollar weekly. Aussie dollar, I don't know. Just it's US dollar, isn't it? We don't need to really pay much attention. Euro odd has hit 4-hour. Sorry, that's hourly RSI. Very high, 83. Again, last time we were up here was back in 19th of January. Obviously, that was not off interest rates. So the interest rates, the last interest rate increase was here. Sorry, here. That was the last interest rate change for the euro. And obviously, they didn't do enough. They didn't think they were doing enough at the time. Now we know they are. So you're still going to get a pullback off of it, though. Look, yeah, well, this is going to pull back into propulsion somewhere. We're coming back into propulsion again. Another good lesson in propulsion gaps. Whoops. Yeah. So when you're scaling in like I'm doing with gold at the moment back into the propulsion, you can have a day or a couple of weeks where you don't get there. Rarely it won't get there. It will always get there because the market will profit take and go into sell cycles and back into buy cycles to do profit take moves. It's how far we're going to get. So these ones, which are already tested multiple times, sort of become invalid. This one, we did test it ever so slightly. Yeah, this one, we tested there. The size of the gap obviously depends on what you class as a retest, but if it's never been touched, really, you're pretty sure it's going to come back. There's orphaned positions in here. So market participants in institutions get left behind, and you get orders orphaned, which they will then scale back in to retrieve and balance the books. So the market is the position traders in banks are doing the same thing. They're always constantly watching their P&L. They're watching this to see, what their positioning is, and if they're positioned long or short, and whether they need to drive that way or that way to make money on each individual instrument. So they'll always move it around back to where the origin of their failure was. I'm going to have to start doing some DD control. New Zealand dollar CAD, is that a manual position? Why is that not closing any out? Did I take that manually? Must have done. No, that was taken by the EA. Why is that not doing DD control? I haven't got it turned on, have I? Come on. That's well over 1 ADR. What the hell? Oh, right. Okay. Something's just done drawdown control for me. Gold. Oh, no, that's my gold's just hit that stop. 175 on New Zealand CAD. Aussie CAD 150. So this looks like this is powering back up again, the US dollar. Ooh, look at that. Gold 175. Look at this thing going. Very nice. Aussie dollar CAD also dropping like a stone. Yeah, Canadian dollar will be rallying off the back of the US. So everything CAD. This is the problem I've got at the moment, is my CAD exposure and my US exposure. So what I have in effect here, the reason I'm going into drawdown and I'm having to scale out of some of this is because I'm double exposed. I've got 4 exposures. In effect, I've got 4 exposures on the US dollar inadvertently by having the CAD on, because the CAD is being dragged with the US dollar. So I've actually got quadruple exposure where I'd normally have 2. That's why I'm suffering at the minute. And the fact that I took a running gold position. Aussie dollar CAD weekly. I'm going to have to do some manual on this, unfortunately, this New Zealand CAD. I don't know why the EA is not scaling me out of this. Can I quickly see where that one? Oh, I know. 74. Yeah, we're not halfway. So what the EA does is when we move 1 ADR away, in my case, we scale out. Well, it scales out of a third of the position. Then when we move another ADR, it will scale out of another third of the position. So it will close a little bit more of that out for me. So the reason it's not scaling out and the reason I'm in 0.5% on that is because we haven't actually gone another ADR. So what it's giving me the option to do, or the chance to do, is on the New Zealand CAD, when we get a reversal alert here, it will enter a new position, and the new position will be 1.3 times that there. So what will happen is my average will get dragged back down into here. So I've got a chance to get out of the position. So I'm just, when this move is over on the US and the CAD and we start to get the pullback in, this will come down dramatically and very quickly. But obviously this is my problem at the moment, is quadruple exposure on the US in effect. So mainly because of gold. I'm just going to screenshot this. A minute. I just want to screenshot that. I'm going to print this off. Actually, what I might do is set this as my wallpaper on my desktop. Yeah. Just to remind me, I'm going to annotate it as well. I'm going to put this into my thingy and just go, right, I'm going to write FOMC to remind me not to be a knob on FOMC. And then I'm going to put a big box around there, and I'm going to get a gold bar, shiny gold bar. And I'm going to remind myself why I do not trade gold. And I'm going to print that. I'm going to stick it above my head on my board behind me. Because I don't seem to be able to stop doing it with gold for some reason. It's probably because it's shiny. It just gets me back in every now and again. Every time. Stevie's been here a while. He knows. Every time. Without fail. The worst thing is I know it, and I still do it. New Zealand CAD. This Canadian dollar is getting absolutely rocketed up the backside. Pound New Zealand as well. Pound's having a bit of a rally at the moment. Or is that New Zealand dollar weakness? Can't really tell. You can't tell what the hell's going on at the moment because everything's moving. Euro's moving, so I can't tell if that is New Zealand. This is a bit of pound. Oh, for God's sake. Euro CAD ADR. Oh, I think we're going to go for a full board today. What are we missing? We're missing some of the Aussies. We're missing a euro pound, pound odd, pound yen. So we're missing some yen pairs basically, and oil. Oil, that would be lovely if oil can do ADR, because that means it's going my way for a change. You're not alone with gold. We've all been there, yeah. Gold. Fed swaps price in peak Fed policy rate of 5% for June. They're 200 New Zealand US. Oh, that's a biggie. There's a really good fade opportunity on that one. What the hell is that? Don't say a gap. I know it's a gap. But why is that on my chart? Let's get a 1 minute chart up. Wow, that is actually a gap. Look at that. Right. Stick along on. That's getting filled. Has everybody else got that on their chart? Or is this my Forex funds? I haven't got another broker open at the moment. One of my VPS. That is an actual gap. Oh, there's two actual gaps, look. Okay. So we're likely to push back up into that. Very likely to push back up into that. 1 minute scalp. I don't do this sort of trading, but I'd say with a very high certainty that's going to get tested very shortly. 14 to 2 to 1. It's too late. JAP, same gap. Also, gap on New Zealand dollar CAD. No, I don't think that's broker. I think that is legitimately a liquidity gap. They've it moved too fast. Someone dumped. You know, this is a really good explanation of buyers and sellers. Yeah, when I keep talking about the buyers and the sellers, yeah, someone somewhere fat fingered a button, because that shouldn't happen. For that to happen, someone has got to dump an order so large in the market that there are no new orders available to fill the next position but there. You don't see this. You see it every now and again in the futures market. The futures market on the ladder, you got the buy side, the bid and the ask. There's always 1 pip difference. Every now and again, you'll see a 3 or 4 pip. And this is what they call, you know, when they say on the prop firms, you're not allowed to do arbitrage. This is what they call arb trading the gap expansions. To get that happening, someone's got to dump an order so large that there is nothing to fill there, which means that there will be people caught offside. Algorithms will be caught offside here, wanting to fill the other side of their order. And this is why this doesn't happen in the futures market. This is one of the reasons we had a crash in the futures market years ago, and why we have this rule on the futures market, where if it moves a certain distance in a day, they suspend trading, because it's the algorithms that cause these problems. So the algos will be battling like hell to get back here, because when the HFT algorithms are trading, they are moving and trading 1 to 2 ticks at a time. If they suddenly miss 5 or 10 ticks, they'll be on an order that they cannot complete, because they will go long. I will either get out there or there. When all of a sudden the out is there, the algorithms can't do that. They need to get back to where they started. So you find they fly back up there. You see it in futures. Every now and again you see it in futures, and it's very rare, but it's you see it on the order book as well. If you've got Jigsaw or Bookmap, and you can see the heat map of the market, you can actually see the dots. You just get this whacking great dot up here, and then a whacking great dot appear there, as the algorithms go long and short at the same time and get themselves into a mess. They hedge. Very rarely. That was the ISM news, was it? Oh yeah, 3 o'clock. So the PMI news, forgot about that one. 55. Again, bullish. All good US dollar. Marvelous. There we go, NASDAQ. Now Ladder's wishing he hadn't got out of his NASDAQ trade. Oil price is rushing nicely as well. That's good. I'm thinking twice actually on oil about adding here now. I'm just going to delete that buy stop. Reason I'm taking that off is I do not want to take a long. When I placed that buy stop, we were in a different situation. So I was anticipating getting in, adding, wherever I got in and added, for a move up. But what we've got now is approaching ADR, exhaustion points, in a propulsion gap that may start an accumulation. So I don't want to add a position at ADR. I'm buying basically into resistance. So I'll wait for a pullback to add, but I'll probably get out of this one today as well, because I'd rather have it flat for the weekend. Oil, there we go, ADR. 130. That's a 1 minute chart. Yeah, I know that, Stevie. It's a 10 pip gap. Yeah. Was I saying it's a different time frame? Was I when I was talking? I don't know. It's all been a bit hectic this afternoon. I've had a hectic morning. I've had a hectic afternoon. I've had a week from hell from a trading perspective, and I just want to go home. I am home. What am I talking about? I just want to go downstairs and drink a beer. So I've just got to go spinning at 5 o'clock. Oil's pushing up into that propulsion nicely. Swiss yen ADR. Interesting, the 4 hour high look. How price accumulates around the highs. There's 5 entries short. I only took one, obviously, but there's 5 entries short there. And then it's pushed up. Taken a lot. Hopefully now going to come back down into the propulsion. Just about to get short, I think, in the pound New Zealand again. This is going to be a good test. So 719 is the ADR ad. This will be a good test. So this should trigger a second position off of that order. Didn't. Okay. Why did that not trigger? 719 and 886. That's because I've got it set to 1 trade only. Oh my word. Good testing, Lee. How about you test it the way you want it to trade rather than not the way you want it to trade? That's why that didn't take a second. Right, so this one will trigger as well. So that wick is above the 4 hour high, and we should get a trigger on that. As long as that stays above 719. Should get a second on that. 814, 719 is all the way down there. So as long as we, this candle, I want this candle to close below the 4 hour high, but above that. I just want to test this ads a second. Approaching 125 on oil. Gold's pulled back nicely. So basically gold just hunted my stop and then decided, actually, yeah, we'll go the other way. You were right, Lee. You know what you're talking about. So, but we'll have you stop first if that's okay. Euro US dollar's got a gap on it as well, is it? I haven't got a gap on Euro US dollar myself. Yeah, Ladder, you would have got taken out on that with a trailer. Definitely. It's too big a pullback. It's 83 point pullback. So that's a quarter of an ADR that pulled back in 10 minutes. So you'd never hold that. Well, I mean, some people might. It all depends which set file you're using, doesn't it? You know, there's so many variations of the strategy. You're always going to get taken out on a trailer. If you're using trailers. Again, that's another setting that I want to test on the ORB is the time close. So using the time close, basically entering whatever and then closing it out at whatever. So I want to test different time closes, because if you're getting in and then closing 1.5 hours, so the obvious time close is the 1.5 hour close, which is 6, which is here. Yeah. So that is your 1.5 hour after the open. And Al Brooks's strategy runs the theory that at that point you will have the high or the low of the session in with 80% accuracy, which is true. Also, when you get to that point, you've had an awful lot of movement in. So if the thing is still rallying, there is a high probability it's going to pull back from that 1.5 hour mark. So, we're nearly at ADR. By the time, if this thing keeps rallying, but that is a valid close, isn't it? 1.5 hours, I reckon. But again, Nuni's testing, and I just don't have time to test every scenario. Gold stuck. So I will be getting into another position there, which will average me down. Look at NASDAQ. Beauty. Dow's got a new high on the day as well. David, that made me laugh. I just want to go home. Wait, I am home. I know. I say it's one of those weeks this week. My brain is fried this week. Absolutely fried. It's been a struggle. It's always a struggle, but it's been a particular struggle this week. Oh, look at this thing go. This would indicate US dollar weakness. Wow, look at that gap. So that's ISM, look. Lack of liquidity. So the reason for that is, that news has come in. The market's exhausted. This is why we're getting these big moves. It's had such a lot of movement. People are like not bothering to get in anymore. So there's light liquidity in the market. When someone wants to dump a big order, they just literally can't get it filled at the price they want. So the market fills it at the next price available in the dark pools, and that's there. But look at the gap, Phil. There's no one in here called Phil. What are you talking about? That's a joke. Okay, there's a gap fill. See? Anybody take that? Then I said to take it. No. I was on the verge of pressing the button. I was going to move over to the Price Action Toolkit, load up New Zealand dollar, US dollar, and quickly take a trade on it. But by the time I'd thought about moving over there, and this is why I don't trade 1 minute charts. By the time I'd thought about it and got it all done, I've missed that much of the move. Not fast enough. There you go. That's that gap fill. So this is the algorithms completing the fill. Now everything's back to normal. Sort of kind of what you would class as an inefficiency in the market is now efficient. The market has to be efficient. Every time someone hits that button, someone else has got to hit that button. If somebody hits that button and there's not enough people to hit the opposite side of the button in an area, the market needs to come back and test that price. So it always does that. You very, very rarely ever see that, though. So rare. Nice to see it every now and again. And you always have to verify, as someone just said, you've always got to verify your broker. Brokers will do this because of data inefficiency, which is why I never use broker data for testing. But you can always verify it. Go and look at multiple brokers, go and look at TradingView, whatever, just to verify that it's not you that's doing that's happening to. Crude view. There's the crude view. Stevie, we just went out for fish and chips and a pint. Sat in 18-degree sun, clear blue skies. Sometimes you just got to take a break. Absolutely. So crude, basically I'm long, but I'm just about to get out of this. I think I'm going to go flat for the weekend. It's a 3-hour push. ADR's RSI's just extended. We're above ADR, so I'm not even going to bother trailing it. I think I'm just going to close it. Although we are on a massive bull run, aren't we, with the US dollar? So what can I do? I'll put a trailer on it. Let's do a trailer. There we go. I'll trail behind that propulsion gap. So lock that in basically. That'll be done for gold. Oil even. I think I've got the EA turned off. Yeah, so I'm not running the EA on oil. These are all manual trades. Just going to bank $100. There we go, 101. I don't want to bank 95. I like round numbers. So I'll risk another $50 on a pullback, just to see if we can get a push up to 200 ADR or something. You know, this it's oil. It can do what the hell it likes. Not run by normal rules. Everything's starting to pull back and rest a little bit. So drawdown's come down a little bit. Just want to watch this candle close. We've got just about to close. So this should take a second position, hopefully. Oh, come on. Don't close above that level. Bid was above the level. That later. I'm going to stick this EA on a VPS to test this properly. The reason I've got all the arrows on there is so I can tell what's triggering. At the moment, we've just got 4-hour high triggers. But I want to see, and then I'll be able to plot every trade on the chart when it's taken and just make sure that it's doing what I want it to do. But I need to, obviously, with sentiment, the trouble is you've got to find sentiment that's the right direction. So I've got to find basically the sentiment pairs that are worth putting it on. And obviously that changes. So I don't want to run it on every pair. I just want to run it on everything that's massively extended at the moment. Right. Always putting back a little bit. NASDAQ is pulling back a little. So is the Dow, ever so slightly. Mumo, didn't see you subscribed. Thanks for subscribing. I like all these little gadgets you get in Stream Deck, Streamlabs. I can actually see what's going on in the channel, whereas before with the old one I couldn't. So it's nice to be able to see when people actually subscribe. No idea how many subscribers I get. Very few. Never anybody in here, is there? Compared to a lot of channels. I don't know how these other channels do it. These guys that have got like 1,000 people are just not interested in getting 1,000. Can you imagine in here 1,000 people? I would never shut up, would I? Literally, my streams would last all day, and then my wife would be knocking on the door again. You coming to bed? Sorry, was it 10 o'clock? Started at 8 this morning. I can't stop answering questions. That's my problem. Right. Okay. So my plan for the day, for the rest of the day, is just to run that oil. Everything else is kind of in DD at the moment. So just running through the positions. New Zealand, pound New Zealand, that's a first position taken short. Basically just looking to get some exposure on. So the market is long at the moment on the pound New Zealand. I'm on the wrong page. So pound New Zealand, obviously the COT is short, retail is all long. So that's the reason I've taken that pound New Zealand. So when I got into it, obviously I just got into it down here. Where was it? That one there. So this second position that's running is running off my new EA, which is just in testing. So kind of ignore that one. But this one, so I got into it here, basically on a sentiment trade, looking for it to break out, basically. So second position will be going in. Not there, will it? It's way too close. It's only 37. I need 81. So I won't be getting into a second on that. But obviously, if it does push up any higher, then I'll get into a second on that one. That's just first position. Gold, obviously, we know about. I kind of want this to pay me now. I'm getting angry with it, but I'm going to just get out up there. So I will be taking a second position, or rather the EA has got me in there. The EA will be taking a second position here. New Zealand dollar CAD. Obviously, I'm long up here. So New Zealand CAD, oops, that's not my bias scorecard. Is a buy based on COT and retail. So retail are short this at the moment. Good for retail. So retail basically at the moment are laughing their heads off, which is fine. All the liquidity on everybody here is there and there. So I will be taking a second position there, bringing the average down back into that propulsion gap, but I anticipate that pushing. However, obviously now we've got this big news on the US dollar, there is potential that the COT positioning, especially on the US dollar, is going to change. And that will affect all the others. So when we look at the current COT positioning for the US dollar, they're long. They're going to get longer. Over the next week to 2 weeks, that is going to get bigger. So this weekend, when I update it, when it gets updated tomorrow morning, I don't know what's going to happen to that. That might go up, it might go down, but I think probably the week after, when we get this Tuesday's figures, that's definitely going to change. Canadian dollar, however, they've been quite short on that. So I think we're probably going to find some buyers starting to step in there. So the CAD, I think, may well be affected as well. So it's difficult to tell from a directional bias what to do with these at the moment. I think we need to be longing them, which means that New Zealand dollar CAD isn't really a good one at the minute, but it's massively extended. So I will be getting into second position and looking for a break up into that area to get out of it. Probably won't hold it, but we will see. CAD Swiss, similar story. Short on this, obviously the thing's flying through the roof at the moment, so I'm going to have to do the same thing. So I'll be getting into a second position short when we get a reversal alert, which is over an ADR away. Look at that for a scaling. I'm scaling in more than one ADR apart on the CAD Swiss. Again, I might deal with this one with a bit of drawdown control. All of these I might do a bit of drawdown control because I'm not actually convinced that I'm right side on these now. US dollar Swiss has just been taken with this one, so ignore that trade because that's not part of my, that's just a testing trade, which is why it's a tiny little amount because it's only play money, basically to test the EA functionality, but I thought I might as well do it in here, in this one. So yeah, so that's where I am. Just going to hold obviously that into the weekend. Any of that does come, you know, if we for some reason get a massive A-shaped recovery on that this afternoon. Wouldn't that be nice? Unlikely. But if we do start to get some profit on the table on that, I might take some off and do some drawdown control. I'll see, but I don't think I will, because I don't think we'll get a move down on this today. We're more likely to accumulate. Oh, excuse me. So yeah. The whipping post. It's because you're not a scalper showing your face on screen with purple lighting and espousing positive thinking bilge. I mean spouting positive thinking bilge. Yeah. Yes. Scalpers. Is that bloke still going that pretends to be a panda? Does anybody know who I mean? I can't remember what his name was. But there's a guy that scalps. I can't remember what strategy he uses, but he uses a scalping strategy. And he appears on the stream as a panda, an animated panda. But there's a lot of them, isn't there? Everyone's so nice in this industry. I think that's why people come here, to get roasted. Stop talking rubbish. I can't remember his name. There he is. Is that him? Trading Panda. Yes, must be. Is it? I don't know. No, that doesn't look like, that's not him. That's not his charts. I'll go away. oneyeartarget.com. No, that's not him. That guy looks like Seth Rogen. I can't find him now. But there's a Panda Trader. Pandas of Wall Street. Wow, what is it with pandas? Panda Trader Binary? Trading Panda? I don't know. No, it's not him. I don't know what it is. Oh, look, there's me. Ooh. Don't know. But anyway, yeah, there's a lot of them out there, isn't there? These scalpers. And you're right, it is all like positive. Bamboo strategy, is that him? Bamboo. That's not going to work, is it? Bamboo Panda. That's going to give me... Panda Trader. No, it's not him. Little Panda, Panda Trading Strategies. I know what... I'll see it. I'll see it and I'll know instantly it's him because he's a panda. But he's got such a... great pandas. 6,000. No, that's not him. He's got such a soft voice. When you're listening to him trade, you think, you must be like 14. You know, it's like those kids as well. There's two kids that run an advert on here that says, trading's all wrong, education's all wrong, everybody's doing it wrong in trading. You only just come out of nappies. You telling me you know what you're doing? Shut up. What are you selling, of course? Funny that. It's funny your stream appears for that search result. I know, why does my stream in there? I'm nothing to do with pandas. What are we doing in there? It's because I'm live. That's why. Look, look. It's actually showing what I'm doing. How cool is that? But I thought Panda Trader would come up. I can't think of anything else that he would be called. Panda trades baby for Apple. Oh, look at our friend Nirav. Look, G7FX. Oh, love you, Nirav. Do you see what I mean about mixed messages in this industry, right? Nirav, his key message. Now, I don't have anything against him at all, but his key message is, why is everybody using a retail chart? Everybody's using candlestick charts. Yeah. What does he post? Institutional chart. What's an institutional chart? A candlestick chart with candlesticks inside it. Yeah. These are candlestick charts. All it is doing is putting bits inside the candlestick charts which show you the orders and trades off of those. Yeah. And he says, no one can make money with candlesticks. And yet there's people like Tom Hugard out there making £1 million a year trading off nothing but candlesticks. Says he works for a bank. Used to work for a bank. Well, why are you selling a course? I just don't get it. He shows you institutional trading. Institutional traders, I know for a fact, do not use footprint charts. Fact. They don't. I know. I know people in institutions. They do not use footprint charts. They couldn't give a monkeys about what's inside a candlestick. Irrelevant. Just a load of waffle to sell stuff. In my opinion, I have to put on there at the end of it, just in case. Oh, I don't know. I literally have never heard of him. I know. Sorry. I've just, you know, when you just something, it's like when you think of something and then you go, oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. I just really want to know what his videos are now, because he's quite comical to watch. I'm not saying, you know, he's not from a nasty percent. What has that got to do with trading Panda? Sorry. Applause, music. Oh my God, I've got applause, music. I don't have applause. Look, music, applause. What? Panda trader. No, I'm not going to find him. So I'm going to stop looking for him. Waste of time. Wasting everybody's time. Right, so I'm going to call it a day there because I'm done. I'm going to print this off. Stick a load of "Don't Be Stupid Again" all over it. Stick it on the wall. That's what I used to use. My monitor used to be covered in Post-it notes. Absolutely covered in Post-it notes. Every time I did something stupid, I'd write it on a Post-it note and stick it on my monitor. And every time I sat down, I would look around my monitor and go, don't do that again. Stops you. Really simple, but it works. Post-it notes. If it's in front of your face all day long, you look at it every day, you won't do it. Another good thing, another good tip, just before I go, this indicator, if you've got my templates, this indicator on the chart, I think I've covered this before, but it's called, what's it called? Which one is it? Similar time frame on chart. Yeah, you've got this little box here called chart note. You can type things like this in. Right? So that every time you sit down at your charts, it says things like that. Do not trade gold again, you idiot. So every time I look at gold, it goes, do not trade this. Really handy little tip. I used to do that all the time. I used to use this indicator all the time. Every time I made a mistake, my mistake would go there. Really, 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 really good. I know I'm only doing this in jest at the moment, but it is actually a really good thing to do because it stops you doing it. It really does. Things like, you know, if you're a position trading, if you're learning to position trade, put in things like half an ADR apart, because the biggest mistake everybody makes is they get into their positions too fast. So if you type half an ADR apart, every time you're going to press that button, if you're not using the EA, you get a reverse alert and you go, oh, I'm going to get in there. Half an ADR apart, measure it. Are you? No. Okay, I won't. And then it goes, blah, 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 and you're like, glad I didn't do that. But, you know, putting that up on the screen really does make a difference. That's why my streams are so long. Yeah. Because I waffle. Thank you. Have a good weekend. Yes, Chris. Bye-bye. Yes, I'll be back on Monday, 7:50, same time as usual. And then obviously 2:20 in the afternoon for the New York session. We'll have a look at what's gone on over the weekend, if anything. There's nothing much expected to go over the weekend, I don't think. There's nothing in the calendar for the weekend, like G7 meetings or G8 meetings or anything. New Zealand is a bank holiday on Sunday. We've got a very light news day on Monday, just PMIs. And then next week, we've got the Aussie dollar rates to look forward to. GDP for the pound. That's about it. Wow. Flat week. Really flat week for news next week. So it might be a bit of a teeth pulling session next week. Also, earnings fortnight comes to a close. It doesn't come to a close, actually. It slows down next week. So next week we've still got earnings coming out, but not a lot. Next major news really from earnings, Gilead, makes me laugh. Handmaid's Tale, real company. PayPal, Uber, Shopify, Roku. There's not a lot happening on earnings next week either. So fairly flat week, I think, next week. So just normal market action. So we should see some good, should get some nice pushes, pulls, profit take moves. So none of this chaos, news chaos next week. So hopefully will be nice and easy to trade, 0.5% a day type days. All right, so have a good one. I'll be back on Monday. If you need anything, I'll be in the Telegram group over the weekend. And yeah, hopefully these all start to retrace a bit, and I'll get that down. But I'll post in the group if I'm doing anything exciting or if anything exciting happens. But other than that, I don't think we'll get much today. So probably fizzling out. Have another look on Monday. All right, so have a good one, and I will see you on Monday.